Here's your wrestling news for October 18th, 2025. Your headlines for today include WWE crosses the line, Triple H faces massive fan backlash after latest move, Jacob Fatu destroyed on SmackDown, WWE officially writes him off TV. Did SmackDown expose Cody Rhodes as the mastermind behind Jacob Fatu's attack? Shocking SmackDown return, Blake Monroe helps Charlotte and Alexa retain titles. WWE drops another huge tease for Chris Jericho's return on SmackDown. Ilja Dragunov shocks the WWE Universe with US title win on return. Aleister Black and Zelina Vega unveil their Sinister master plan on SmackDown. Tiffany challenges Kiana on SmackDown. Giulia's sudden disappearance raises questions. Corey Graves returns to SmackDown booth weeks after Brock Lesnar took him out, and more. WWE is making a major leap into artificial intelligence, and they've brought in a big name to lead the transition. According to multiple wrestling outlets, the company has officially hired Cyrus Kowarski as its Senior Director of Creative Strategy, a role focused on integrating AI-driven storytelling and content creation into WWE's creative process. Kowarski brings an impressive resume, having previously worked at BuzzFeed from 2016 to 2022. Reports indicate that Triple H personally introduced Kowarski to the creative team, explaining that his role will involve shaping WWE's use of AI technology in everything from video production to graphic design, and even in storylines. Interestingly, Kowarski's responsibilities go beyond just creative oversight. He'll also act as a liaison between WWE and the White House, with Triple H reportedly becoming more active in political discussions tied to entertainment and technology. WWE has already partnered with a company called Writer AI, which has been training its system using archived WWE content. However, early results haven't been promising. One internal test story reportedly involved Bobby Lashley, whom the AI mistakenly assumed was still with WWE, returning as a character obsessed with Japanese culture. That pitch, and others like it, were described by insiders as absurdly bad. This is where Kowarski steps in. His main task will be to create stronger AI prompt systems that can eventually help produce more coherent, compelling, and usable storylines for the creative team. Since the hiring became public, fans have taken to social media, and the reactions have been anything but quiet. When Triple H promoted the upcoming episode of SmackDown on X, replies were flooded with memes and jokes questioning WWE's writing. One fan commented, "Did AI write this for you?" while another quipped that the match card looked like it was created by ChatGPT. While some see this as an exciting step toward innovation, others view it as a risky move that could further disconnect WWE's storytelling from the human touch that defines pro wrestling. Do you think AI belongs in wrestling creative, or should WWE stick to human-led storytelling? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Enjoying the video? A quick like goes a long way in helping us grow and deliver more wrestling news you care about. One of yesterday's major stories revolved around Jacob Fatu's non-wrestling related injury, which is expected to sideline him for the remainder of 2025 and at least until March 2026. Tonight's episode of SmackDown appeared to officially address that situation, with WWE scripting Fatu's exit from television in dramatic fashion. The show opened with SmackDown General Manager Nick Aldis announcing that the scheduled match between Drew McIntyre and Jacob Fatu would now serve as a #1 contenders match for Cody Rhodes' undisputed WWE Championship. Moments later, Cody made his entrance to a thunderous ovation from the crowd. Rhodes took the microphone to address his WWE Crown Jewel loss, noting that Seth Rollins split himself to the bone to secure the win, a line that seemed to hint at Rollins' recent injury, which could keep the Visionary out of action for some time. Cody then turned his attention back to SmackDown, promising to handle business on the Blue brand and hyping up the night's main event. Fans loudly cheered for their hometown favorite Jacob Fatu, who looked ready to capitalize on the biggest opportunity of his career. Later in the night, Fatu appeared backstage alongside Rhodes in a tense segment. Fatu warned Cody that after defeating McIntyre, he would show him the true meaning of Ghost Ride the Whip. Rhodes smirked and replied, "I hope you're right." However, eagle-eyed viewers noticed something ominous. Drew McIntyre was lurking in the background, watching the exchange unfold. When the main event arrived, Jacob Fatu never made it to the ring. Instead, the broadcast cut backstage to show Fatu trapped under heavy production equipment, bleeding from the mouth and appearing to have lost a few teeth. The camera lingered as personnel rushed to his aid before the show abruptly cut to commercial. When the broadcast returned, Drew McIntyre made his entrance, while Fatu remained down backstage, effectively written out of the storyline. Furious Cody Rhodes soon stormed into the arena shouting, "You want your title match? You can have it tonight." The two longtime rivals immediately began brawling around ringside as the bell sounded. The fight soon spilled outside where Rhodes, in a rare display of aggression, blasted McIntyre with the WWE Championship belt, causing a disqualification, but not an end to the chaos. Climbing onto the announce table, Cody set up for Crossroads, but security and Aldis rushed in to separate the two. In one final act of defiance, Rhodes launched himself off the top rope, crashing onto McIntyre and the officials before standing tall as the show went off the air. While the moment was explosive, Cody's actions raised eyebrows. Striking an opponent with the championship, especially to intentionally cause a disqualification, is typically seen as a heel move, not something expected from a babyface champion. This latest development has sparked speculation among fans that Cody Rhodes himself may have been responsible for Jacob Fatu's backstage attack, even though Drew McIntyre was shown in the vicinity earlier in the night. According to multiple dirt sheet reports, WWE could be planting the seeds for a deeper twist, one that ultimately reveals Cody as the man behind Fatu's ambush. With Fatu expected to be out of action for an extended period, WWE now has significant time to shape the direction of this storyline. The company could choose to build toward a gradual heel turn for Cody, or potentially pivot to an entirely different narrative by the time Fatu is cleared to return. What do you think? Was Cody responsible for taking out Jacob Fatu, or is WWE simply building tension between him and Drew McIntyre? And where do you see this feud heading next? Is it finally time for WWE to put the Undisputed Championship on Drew McIntyre, or should Cody's reign continue? Share your predictions and thoughts in the comments below. The WWE Women's Tag Team Championships kicked off SmackDown in an energetic opener that saw Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss defend their titles against NXT's Sol Ruca and Zarya. As the match began, cameras caught Blake Monroe at ringside, keeping a close eye on Ruca, her upcoming opponent for the NXT North American Championship at Halloween Havoc next Saturday. During the early stages, the challengers worked well as a team, isolating Alexa Bliss and showcasing impressive chemistry throughout the commercial break. But once Flair received the hot tag, momentum quickly shifted. The Queen stormed into the match, taking down Zarya with a series of hard-hitting strikes. That momentum came to a halt when Ruca tagged back in, exploding into the ring and taking on both champions at once. The double champion floored Flair with her signature Soul Snatcher, nearly scoring the upset before Bliss broke up the pinfall. The action soon spilled to the outside where Blake Monroe provided a well-timed distraction. The interference allowed Flair to capitalize, targeting Ruca's knee before locking in the figure 8 for the submission victory. Commentary interestingly referred to Flair and Bliss as the Twisted Queens, possibly signaling the official team name moving forward. There was a brief miscue between Zarya and Alexa Bliss, but both women recovered seamlessly, keeping the match's rhythm intact. Despite some visible nerves from the NXT duo, they held their own against two of WWE's most experienced performers, a solid showing for talents still finding their footing under the bright lights. One moment that had fans buzzing came midway through the match when Flair applied a Boston Crab that strongly resembled Chris Jericho's Walls of Jericho. Commentary brushed it off as just a standard hold, but the crowd erupted with recognition. Whether this was an intentional tease or a simple coincidence remains open to interpretation, though it certainly fueled speculation about a potential Jericho-WWE connection. Overall, this was a well-paced and entertaining bout that continued to highlight potential main roster call-ups, while advancing Sol Ruca's rivalry with Blake Monroe, which is now even more momentum heading into Halloween Havoc. Do you think Charlotte Flair's Walls of Jericho moment was just a coincidence, or could WWE actually be teasing something bigger with Jericho? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Sami Zayn stepped into the ring to issue another United States Championship Open challenge, but the night quickly took an unexpected turn. The Miz appeared to accept, only to be blindsided moments later by Carmelo Hayes, leaving Zayn waiting in the ring for his next challenger. That's when the arena erupted. After more than a year away from competition, Ilja Dragunov made his long-awaited return to a thunderous ovation from the Bay Area crowd. The former NXT standout, sidelined with a severe knee injury, wasted no time reminding fans of his intensity as he charged straight at the champion. From the opening bell, Zayn and Dragunov delivered a high-level showcase of wrestling, a mix of brutal strikes, rapid counters, and tight technical exchanges that had fans in San Jose chanting "This is awesome" before the commercial break. As the match reached its closing moments, Zayn lined up for the haluva kick, but his focus broke when Solo Sikoa appeared at ringside. The distraction opened the door for Dragunov to retain control, landing one final H-bomb to score the pinfall and win the United States Championship in his first match back. The celebration didn't last long. Moments after the bell, the MFTs stormed the ring, attacking both Dragunov and Zayn. Rey Fenix tried to make the save but was quickly overwhelmed. Just when it looked like the chaos would continue, a pre-taped message from Bo Dallas played on the Titantron, warning the faction of what was coming next. The camera cut back to the ring where Eric Rowan, Dexter Lumis, Joe Gacy, and Nikki Cross appeared on the apron, silently staring down the attackers as the crowd roared in anticipation. Dragunov's return was more than just a comeback, it was a statement. After a year of recovery and uncertainty, he proved he hasn't lost a step in what many are already calling a TV Match of the Year contender. Giulia's run as the WWE Women's United States Champion continues to leave fans puzzled. After arriving on the main roster with major buzz and capturing the title from Zelina Vega, her appearances since have been surprisingly limited. Despite holding championship gold, Giulia has either been missing from SmackDown entirely or featured only in brief backstage segments, a confusing move for someone WWE once pushed as a major acquisition. On this week's SmackDown, the spotlight instead shifted to Kiana James, who mocked Tiffany Stratton for her loss to Stephanie Vaquer at Crown Jewel. The exchange wasn't just banter, it was designed to set up a match between James and Stratton for next week's show. Interestingly, James positioned herself as a spokesperson of sorts for Giulia, continuing to speak on her behalf even though the champion wasn't present. That absence did not go unnoticed, with many questioning why a reigning champion isn't more visible on television. WWE seems unsure how to handle Giulia's title reign. For now, her presence remains a mystery as her allies carry the story forward in her absence. Aleister Black and Zelina Vega broke their silence this week, addressing the shocking events from last week when Vega distracted Damian Priest as Aleister Black threw a fireball in his face, an attack that directly led to Black securing the victory. In a pre-taped video message, the duo unapologetically explained their actions, revealing that the entire plan had been set in motion well in advance. Vega and Black ended the segment with a cold warning to the rest of the WWE locker room, a reminder that anyone who stands in their way should expect the same kind of ruthless precision. A heated backstage confrontation between the Motor City Machine Guns and Los Garza set the stage for a tag team clash, a rematch of the very first WWE bout Chris Sabin and Alex Shelley ever competed in. From the opening bell, Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo dictated the pace, cutting off Shelley from his corner and isolating him for much of the early going. The duo's chemistry was on full display as they methodically wore down Shelley and controlled the match throughout the commercial break. When Sabin finally tagged in, momentum briefly shifted, but Los Garza quickly regrouped and wiped out both babyfaces at ringside, keeping the upper hand for most of the contest. However, one small window was all it took. The former tag team champions capitalized on a single mistake, hitting their signature skull and bones combination to score the pinfall victory, a much-needed win for the veteran team. Despite the result, the match raised eyebrows for its layout. Commentary heavily spotlighted the heels, who dominated nearly every phase of the bout, only to lose cleanly after minimal sustained offense from Sabin and Shelley. It was an odd creative choice given how strongly Los Garza were presented throughout. Still, for the Motor City Machine Guns, the night ended with redemption, a victory that reestablishes them in WWE's growing tag division, even if the path to get there felt uneven. Tonight's commentary team featured NXT's Vic Joseph alongside the returning Corey Graves, marking Graves' first appearance back at the desk since his on-screen injury angle. In the storyline, Graves had been written off television after being taken out by Brock Lesnar, but in reality, his absence was for a much happier reason. The former NXT Tag Team Champion recently welcomed the birth of his child with Carmella. It appears WWE is laying the groundwork for a new tag team feud, Fraxium vs. DIY. It's a welcome sight for fans to see DIY, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa, back on television after what feels like an extended absence. That's a wrap on this week's SmackDown, guys. What did you think was the standout moment of the night? And with the growing speculation surrounding Jacob Fatu's backstage attack, do you think WWE should move forward with the idea of Cody Rhodes being revealed as the one behind it? Share your thoughts in the comments. We'd love to know where you think this storyline should go next. Don't miss our next video coming at 5:30 p.m. Eastern with all the latest wrestling updates. Smash that bell icon and select all notifications so you're always in the loop.